Are you possibly struggling with the new contest? Well, in today's video, I'll tell you how you can easily beat it and get first place. Now, in today's video, I have 5 different comps for you guys, so you can easily beat the challenge with any of them if you don't have the brawlers maxed out or if you don't like the comps. Also, for every comp, I will tell you the strategy for each one. So yeah, without wasting your time, let's get straight into the video. So, starting off, strategy number 1, we have Jean and Lily. Now, this combination is really OP and honestly, it is broken. Now, if your teammate has Jean and he also has the vision gear on Jean, or if you have Jean and you have the vision gear on Jean, this combination is actually insane if you play properly. Now, you may be asking, what do you mean by properly? Now, whoever's playing Lily will do the hard work basically because Jean is way easier to play. So I will suggest anyone to play Lily that is good at like surviving more and has a better game sense. Now, I'll tell you exactly how to play Lily. So if none of you guys know how to play Lily, I'll tell you right now. So with Lily, you want to play her very specifically. Now, when you spawn in the match, you do not want to gadget. So at the start of the match, you do not want to gadget is what I'm basically saying, because if you start gadgeting at the start of the match, this will make you very predictable and the teammates will basically know, or sorry, the enemy team will basically know that you are going to spawn in their bush at the start of the match. And basically that will give them an idea to just play very defensive at the start. But if you use your gadget later on, say you wait like 30 or 45 seconds and then you activate your gadget, this kind of gives them a surprise. Basically, they will not expect it and you can probably gadget and they're going to be wasting their ammo shooting in your bush. And when you gadget and you start to go to their bush, you can easily eliminate them. Now, if you have the speed gear on the Lily, I would say that it's going to help out a lot since you can move a lot quicker. Also, another thing you want to do is you want to be at the end of the bush or basically at the back. You do not want to go to the front because if you're at the front of the bush, then they can pretty much easily hit you and you're going to basically charge their super, so you do not want that. So I would suggest staying at the back of the bush. Also, if you are going to rush in, then yeah, go ahead and enter closer to the front of the bush. And yeah, then just gadget and enter their bush. Alright, so now let's go to the next comp. And the next comp is going to be an old comp. And the comp is Frank and Barry. Yes, I know you probably think that this comp has been overused a lot, but it's actually really good for knockout, and I'll explain why. Now, I will give you an alternative to this comp, so do not worry. So the reason this comp is so good is because usually people go like brawlers that have low HP, or people go brawlers like Jean, right? And Jean cannot do that much damage, let's say that. But Frank has a lot of health, so he can basically just rush in since he has a lot of health. And with either Barry or you can go someone like Byron just healing him, he can be insane. Like honestly, I don't think you can stop him. Now, you do need to play very carefully and your game sense has to be good. Whoever's playing Frank, as you will see in my clips, you kind of do need to know how to dodge and when to attack and stuff like that. So, if there is a good Frank on your team, honestly, you should just be using Frank as he is insane. And then Barry is just very simple. You just basically heal. Barry is also pretty good for this mode. It is because his super can pretty much just assassinate brawlers, which is really good. So yeah, this is why I would suggest Frank and Barry as they are insane. Now, an alternative, so I don't have to repeat myself because it's kind of the same comp, is Buster and Kit. Now, you guys probably know this comp since it is popular a bit. And basically, all you have to do is Buster is going to get his super from the Kit, and Kit is just going to wait for his super. And when Buster and Kit has their super, Buster will just activate his super and Kit will just jump on Buster and you're just going to push. Now, in my opinion, this is the most no skill comp. So if you have 0 skill at all, I would suggest these comps as they're really easy to use and really easy to play. Now, the next comp is Pearl and Spike. Now, I know you see a Lola, but that is because after I finished my tickets, I was going into random games and trying to just help out people. But this random did not want to hop off Lola. Like, he was really determined to play Lola and he did not want to switch. And I had a hard time finding randoms by using the looking for a team feature. So yeah, just ignore the Lola, pretend that's a Spike. Like, in your head, just imagine a Spike. But basically, Pearl is insane in this mode. Honestly, if you're gonna go solo queue in this mode, you should probably go Pearl, as Pearl is insane. Now, an advantage that Pearl has is how wide her shots is. So because Pearl has such wide shots, it's really easy to hit your enemies. Now, the most broken thing about Pearl in this mode is Pearl's gadget, as Pearl's gadget can deal so much damage that it's basically going to eliminate the enemy team. But the thing is, if you hit someone with Pearl's gadget and they don't die, they are going to start falling back because they're low on HP. If they don't, just start rushing, and if they do fall back, start rushing. Because if you can get the advantage of being in their spawn point while they're at their spawn, it is game over for them. Like, there's no way they can recover back unless they're like professional esports players. And I don't think there's gonna be professional esports players in your games. Now, another thing I would suggest to do is you should stand close to the edge of the bush, but you want to stand right here. Now, if you stand right here, basically they're not going to hit you because this is where every Pearl stands. Now, if you're going against an enemy team that has a Pearl, you want to shoot in these locations because this is where every Pearl bush camps. Every enemy team that had a Pearl that I versed, they always stood in that spot. So yeah, always be careful and make sure you're staying a bit back if you're going to shoot the Pearl, because they will have their gadget activated. Now, Spike's job is going to be pretty easy. All he's gonna do is just shoot his main attack and basically try to get area control. Also, another thing Spike is going to be is a distraction, and I'll explain what I mean by this. So basically, when Spike is going to be attacking with his main attack, he's going to distract the enemy to just focus on him. Now, Pearl is going to bush camp in that spot. And now, when Pearl sees the enemy team shooting at the Spike, and you see that it's within your reach of your shot, activate your gadget and just shoot the enemy team. And yeah, that basically guarantees your win for that round. Alright, now let's go to the next comp. And the next comp is Meeple and Crow. Now I'm sorry the footage did get corrupted, so I don't have it anymore. But basically, Meeple is insane here for two reasons. First, his gadget, and second, his attack. Now, the stun gadget can save you so much times in this mode, like it's actually crazy. And for his attack, basically, when Meeple shoots his attack and you see it curve, that basically means that the enemies are within reach. So they're really close to where the attack was, and after you can just predict your shots. Now, being so powerful because you know where the enemy is approximately does have consequences. Now, Meeple's attack is actually really slow. So that is the biggest problem for Meeple, is that his attack takes forever to reload. So what I will suggest is when you're using Meeple, to use his ammo very carefully and do not just waste it randomly. You kind of just want to keep shooting his attacks one by one. Unless you see like a curve, then go ahead and start wasting more shots. But other than that, I would only suggest using shots one by one just in case they do start pushing you all of a sudden, so you have some shots left. Also, Meeple's damage is pretty good. So yeah, now let's go to Crow. Now, the reason I suggested Crow for this comp is because if you pair Crow up with Meeple, Crow is just insane, and that is because of his toxic attack. Now, because they are poisoned and they're going to keep on ticking, you can easily know where to shoot with Meeple, and this basically just gives you such a big advantage, and it basically makes you super powerful because this combination, Crow and Meeple, is just insane. Alright, so now let's go to the next comp. And the next comp is Buzz Lightyear, which is the laser one, and Penny. So I wanted to make this comp as free to play as possible, so this is why I went these brawlers. Now for Buzz Lightyear, he's kind of gonna be like Crow, and also he does do a lot of damage. That's why you kind of want to play him, and he is free, so he is really good, and he's also maxed out. Alright, now let's go to Penny. Now Penny is really good, and it is for some reasons. So the first one is her gadget. Now, you're probably going to see some lilies in your matches, so if you play Penny, she's actually going to be really good with her gadget, since she can instantly just throw her gadget and deal so much damage if you're using the correct star power. Now, another thing that makes Penny really good is Division Gear, and I'll explain why. So a long time ago, I made a video based on Division Gear, which if you guys want to see it, go ahead. But basically, in that video, I showed the difference between vision gears for some brawler interactions, and what I found out was when Penny had the vision gear, it allowed the turret to hit enemies in a bush. So if you did not have the vision gear and you shot an enemy that was in a bush, the turret would not shoot at all. But if you had the vision gear and you shot an enemy that was in a bush, the turret will start shooting. Now, this is why I will suggest Penny with the vision gear, as it makes Penny really strong and very viable for this map especially. And another thing is, when you get Penny's turret and you place it behind the wall, you are basically going to win the match, because that turret is going to be so annoying. There's no way they're not going to try to either rush the turret or try to break it. And yeah, that basically leads me to the end of the video. Now, if you did enjoy the video, consider leaving a like and subscribing, because I will be doing more content like this. Have a good day and bye bye.